Tony Cuomo, retired Marine, firefighter, and medic. One of the warmest personalities on the range and a huge gun enthusiast. Shares his XF Pro Fusion firearm. Welcome to Season 2 of Can We Chat? This podcast has been made possible by our sponsor, Carlson Mechanical, where your imagination comes to reality. Okay, all right. What is going on? My name is Paul G., Chief Safety Officer for the IDPA. This channel will help you clarify IDPA rules, shooting techniques, and inform you of the newest gear and what's going on in the shooting community. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Please welcome back to the podcast a fellow CSO and dear friend, Tony Cuomo. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, thank you very much for driving all the way out here from Menifee.
Yes.
So how was traffic? It was good?
Traffic? No, it was horrible.
Oh,
yeah.
Seems to be getting
But
worse.
the fast track?
Yes.
The fast track was, so I saw right away
Yeah.
that the fast track was moving because the GPS had me on regular streets. It had me coming, it took 2 hours.
Yeah.
I moved over to fast track, dropped it down to an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow. So it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care. I'm not sitting in that traffic. I'll hurt somebody. I really will. I'm sorry. I can't.
So you're a gunsmith as well.
Yes.
You work on Mondays.
Yes.
Is that
Mondays.
it? Just Mondays, or
Yeah, it's just Mondays right now.
what shop?
It's Katie Wortman Gun Works, formerly in Hemet, now in Menifee, California. There's about 8 of us in the shop.
Keeps your mind busy.
Right, yeah. It's about, we have 2 FFLs
Okay.
that are there at the shop. And then we have one older gentleman that does all bluing.
Yes.
We have 2 gentlemen that Cerakote. I do machining. I make barrels, stuff like that, and do the basic quick stuff. Like, for example, this gun here.
Yes.
This is the XP Pro. I took this down, stripped it down to nothing, polished the trigger bow, polished the disconnectors. You know, I did a trigger job on it. Got the rear firing plate smoothed out and rounded, so this way when the slide comes back, it just rolls nice over the hammer.
So if any client comes in, they request custom work on their guns, you would be the guy to be talking to.
Yes. Or if you have it like what I'm known for is people who own older shotguns that the hammer's broken.
Which mine was.
Yeah.
And I brought it to you.
Yeah.
And you took care of that.
Or if they have some of the Czechoslovakian shotguns and stuff like that, what I'll do is I'll take apart the action and I'll take a block of steel and I'll cut it out on the bandsaw and then hand make another hammer or firing pin for shotguns that you can't find anymore.
So you're not necessarily a gunsmith per se, you're an armorer.
Yeah, that or a machinist.
So you're one step further. So
yeah, everyone they call me the machinist in the shop. You know, either that or most of us are all military, so we have very fun names for each other in the shop. 3 Marines, 3 naval personnel, 2 Army personnel, and it gets a little spicy.
Yeah.
In the shop, it really does. So, and then by the end of the day, we all sit around the workshop and have cigars and scotch. So, and it's more of a camaraderie thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we do charge regular rates and stuff like that. I mean, for people, when someone brings in their gun, it's $100 an hour.
Wow. Okay.
To repair anything.
That's about the cost, right?
Yeah. Well, we're a little lower. The if you brought anything to a regular gun store, it would be $150 an hour.
Right.
So we're a little less because we're doing this because it's just a bunch of old veterans getting together.
Yeah.
And we have breakfast in the morning, and that's when the razzing starts and the stuff like that. And then it just gets really interesting throughout the rest of the day.
Kind of like the local match.
Yes, it's just like the local match. Yes, it is. There's a lot of shenanigans going on. For example, two of the guys in the shop were bored, so they took old brass shell casings, melted them down, and made spearheads. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" Well, we're making these spearheads, and I'm like, "For what?" Right? And they actually machined the back, threaded them, put them on wooden poles, and I'm like, no, get it out. Someone's gonna get hurt. It's not gonna be fun. But yeah, it's when it's slow, we get goofy.
They do casting there and
Yes.
so forth? Okay, so I was wondering, what is the melting temperature for brass, by the way? Do you
I
know
think
that?
it's 1400.
Wow.
I believe it's 1400.
So you have ovens that will actually go...
No, we have a furnace.
A furnace,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we have a propane-fed furnace. We also have lead melting areas.
Okay.
We have aluminum, brass melting areas. We take a lot of the scrap brass that we can't use for anything.
Right.
We melt it down and we pour them into graphite ingots, weigh it, stamp the weight on them, and then once we have enough, we bring them to a recycler, and we get a really nice chunk of change.
Sure, because it's
purified
raw. Yeah, it's raw
brass,
material,
right.
sure, that they can use.
So
wow.
Because if you bring brass shell casings to a recycler, a lot of them will be like, no, we don't know if there's any live rounds in there. We don't know if there's any live primers in there.
Got it. Yes.
So if you have a 5-gallon bucket of empty, let's just say mixed brass from the range, the recyclers are giving $150 a bucket.
Right.
When we bring in the ingots, 5-pound ingots, we're getting a lot more. We're getting top dollar for it.
Well, you clean it up. It's cleaned,
right?
Clean form, right?
Clean, melted,
raw.
All of the impurities are scraped off the top, poured into ingots. They're weighed so they know what it is.
Wow, you did all the work.
Well, yeah, it's keeping us busy. It really is.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what you're capable of doing. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and then we have a bunch of Dillon 650s running, Dillon 900 shotgun machines going. We have a 1050 for 5.56 running, and then we have a lot of single stage reloading where people come in and we teach them how to reload.
Okay.
We give them the basics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we give them the basics. We sit them down. We show them what they need to do, how to keep notes.
Right.
And then we teach them how to do it, and then we send them off on their own. And we usually get phone calls.
Do you do like formal classes, reloading classes and stuff like that? You ever thought of doing something like that?
I would like to do it. I would have to. The thing is finding the place to do it.
Okay. You can't do it in the shop then.
Well, we can do it in the shop, but it's limited space.
So you need a classroom.
Right.
Okay, got it. So
what happens is at Ren's Ranch, if someone comes up and says, "Hey, I'm really interested in reloading,"
right,
we tell them, "Okay, this Monday, come to the shop anytime after 12, and we'll sit you down and we'll take you through the basics of reloading."
Do the members of your club know how fortunate they are?
A lot of them do.
I mean, you would be a hell of a resource out there. Well, you're still a hell of a resource for me now. So
right, yeah. It's a lot of the guys there. The old timers are always willing to help someone.
Sure. Oh, that's great.
So we have a lot of CCW classes at our range, and we have a lot of law enforcement comes to the range. Menifee Police Department uses our range. Hemet uses it.
Yeah, I know it's very, very busy over there.
Yeah, it's very busy. That's where we get all our brass from, because they actually pay to leave the brass.
All right, that makes more sense.
Right. They pay to leave the brass. So then we go and we have what we call the lawnmower.
Yeah.
And it's just a machine that you just walk and it just picks up all the brass, dumps it in buckets. It's pretty cool.
And it just enters that cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very
then
nice.
we every now and then a member will be like, I want to learn how to do this. And we're like, fine, come this day.
Yeah.
Many people see Jeff Johnson's IDPA class on the second Saturday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Johnson takes up an entire fast action pistol bay, and he runs 2 scenarios in the bay.
Right.
And people come, they pay Jeff for the targets and whatnot, and we run IDPA scenarios for people who are thinking about getting into IDPA.
Oh, wow. That just takes it to a whole new level.
Right. Well,
wow, that's great.
They don't. Well, the people don't. One, they don't feel pressured.
Right.
A lot of people I find out when I tell them come to a match, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm not going to shoot in front of these people."
That can be intimidating.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I can't shoot as fast as these guys, and then we could try to tell you you're not supposed to.
Right.
Unless you're shooting USPSA all the time and you're coming to IDPA, that's something different.
Right.
But when you're someone who watches a match either on YouTube or they come to our range and watch us practice, and you want to get into it, they feel intimidated, so they come to us first.
Right.
And they're like, wait, I really like this.
Yeah.
And we tell them it's very simple. Just you're not there to win a Cadillac or anything.
No.
But you will be going slow for your first time.
Yeah.
And you want to get used to it. And be very careful. It's addictive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to shoot IDPA. And it trains you for the oh shit, as we say in New York.
Right, right.
You're shooting from concealment. You're using a firearm that you would hopefully carry every day.
Right.
So
we had a female, one of our subscribers, actual subscribers of this channel, female Diana. She wanted or was going through that process and contacted me and said, "Hey, I want to shoot." And she didn't have any holsters, but she had the guns and the ammo. And I said, "So just come out."
Right.
And
I remember her. Yes, I remember Anthony, the Viking.
Yeah.
Talking to her at the safety table.
Yes. So we tag team. He took care of all of the logistics because I was still setting up bays and stuff like that. But he made sure that she was taken care of and so forth. But that was her. I introduced you to her.
Yes. Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
And like you said, she just wanted to come out and take a look. And but she actually shot. So she took it slow. She was very, very good. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, she enjoyed it. Well, I'm also gonna. Being in the military, I always find that women are better shooters than men.
I would have to agree.
Yeah, because they don't think of it as an extension of their manhood, and that they wake up one morning just because they're a man,
right,
that they automatically know how to use a firearm. They're a little bit more careful.
Yes,
and so therefore, even when I was with the Marines as a Navy corpsman, I always saw the women shooting better.
Yeah,
because they were just more careful. They were more.
You think they were more coachable?
Yes, they're much more coachable.
Because she took so you just give her one command and she just went with it.
Right.
And I was very impressed how she shot. So that went really well.
Well, that was cool. That's
Yeah.
very good. Welcome, Diana. Now wait. Now you're going to start buying ammunition.
Actually, when she was leaving, that's exactly what she was saying. She goes,
Yep.
"I am hooked. This is awesome." But at the match, you pulled me aside. I thought we were going to do a drug deal in the back.
Yes, and I showed you the new ERMO X Fusion Firearms XF Pro.
So it's how it's pronounced? It's ERMO X, right?
Well, according
ERMO,
it's ERMO
X.
And the X at the end is the company logo.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's ERMO or because they have it combined, it's ERMO X.
ERMO X. It looks like ERMO X.
Right.
So, but they're from Turkey.
Yes,
And
they're
they-
made in Turkey,
and
but
they're
the
importing
designer
Oh, the designer.
The designer is Bob Serva, who is the former president of Dan Wesson.
Really?
Yes.
He went on his own and did a thing?
Well, Fusion Firearms actually has been around for a little while. They make custom 1911s and shotguns, and they bring all these in from Europe. Now, this was their idea because remember when we did the show about the platypus, my platypus?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that gun has taken off.
So the platypus is a 1911 stuff.
It's a double stack 1911. Yes, it's hammered.
So the XP
Is
Pro,
basically the same.
the 1911. Okay, but is it the same size or
Same size, and uses Glock mags as well.
Okay.
And this one is a 3-piece like your STI,
Right.
where the platypus is just a lower and a slide and an upper. This one has the grip module, which is all aluminum. It has the firearm, which is the lower underneath,
Right.
and of course the upper. So this is a 3-piece firearm that is designed, comes like from the STI era.
Got it.
The only thing is this is not plastic, this is
Right.
metal. It's a little smooth on the side, and same with this one.
Yeah. It's not as aggressive as a
It's
grip
not
that-
aggressive.
Okay.
But they're coming out now because people have said, we love your gun,
But it's
too slippery.
got it.
Now, when I took this apart, first off, when I went to SHOT Show 2025, and of course they're all locked in, you can't take them apart there.
Cable's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at these because I saw the double stack 1911, and then I saw the price, and I said, okay, what's wrong with it?
What's really? Oh, wait.
So I stopped and I said, okay, what's wrong with the gun? And the guy smiled.
Okay, so it wasn't in the $4,000 area.
No,
Okay.
nowhere near it.
Really?
Yeah. This gun with 2 magazines, the optics plates, everything that comes in that box is $1,200.
Wait.
And there's not a single MIM part in the gun.
You like you're okay with aluminum?
Yes, I'm fine with aluminum.
Because remember that little the 5-shot revolvers that we did in Arizona, right? That was made out of aluminum.
Yeah.
Majority of it.
Right.
And so I bought it new, and we had 6 months, less than 6 months less than it was less than 3 months, right?
Yeah, it was less than 3 months practice.
to try to get it going and so forth.
Right.
I beat the hell out of that whole escapade that we did.
Right.
That thing is like beat the hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, are you talking cosmetic or functionality?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd send it back and have them repair it.
Really, because the aluminum is just starting to wear down, almost to a part of like polishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, would we have the same endurance in this type of gun?
Well, I think this is what I don't understand. The company is using top-notch stuff. It's 70-75 stainless is the upper,
right,
and the lower
okay
is 70-75 stainless.
Okay.
And the lower is 40-45 aircraft aluminum. So and then everything is Cerakoted, which I don't understand. If you're using top-notch steel, why would you color it?
Yeah. Make it. Was there a different color to it? Maybe.
Well, stainless is stainless.
Stainless plus aluminum, but both have different.
True.
Yeah. Right.
But this is the base here is the grip module is the only thing that's aluminum.
Okay.
Everything else is steel. And the controls are larger controls on this than normal on 1911s. But this comes everything soup to nuts for $1,200.
Wow.
And that's MSRP. So now if you go order a gun from Palmetto State Armory or one of these big gun dealers,
They have to put their stuff in as well.
but not only that, if they're ordering in bulk, you're getting a better price.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to have fun shooting, let's make it a little bit affordable, because I would love to have an OA 2011, but that's $5,000, and the Phoenix Trinity is is $5,000. I mean, if this gun right now, if you go onto YouTube and you type in Fusion XP Pro, you're going to start seeing all these videos. And I forget the name of the gun reviewer that's right here in Las Vegas. A young gentleman, I think he's former law enforcement. He actually tested the XP Pro, the Platypus, and the new
A comparison.
Staccato.
Yes.
The new Staccato HD, all three double stack 1911s use Glock mags. The Platypus in his mind won, hands down.
Right.
But this gun was only a tenth of a second behind all three. Now that could be anything from there's too much Cerakote on the trigger bow, or there's too much Cerakote in between the where metal meets metal, and it has to wear in.
Right.
That could have just been
Shooter error, maybe.
shooter error, anything.
Whatever. Yeah.
But if you're looking for if you're looking for the double stack 1911 age, when I saw this, I was like, and again, I went to SHOT Show and I looked at the gentleman in the face and said, "What's wrong with it? Why would a 2011 only be $1,200?"
Right.
That's cheaper than the Prodigy, and the Prodigy uses all MIM parts. You have to take a Prodigy apart,
Right.
take all the MIM parts out, drop a Nighthawk Customs ignition system in it, to make it faster, take out the heavy springs in it, reduce springs. This one comes with a 7-pound recoil spring and a 19-pound hammer spring or mainspring, whatever you like to call it.
If you're not familiar with MIM parts are just cast parts, right? They're
Right.
just put into a cast out
Metal
there,
injected molded.
deburred it, and then just slap it in there, right?
Right.
The only problem is that they don't last very long.
No,
which,
they're very, very weak.
right. So, which a lot of us have, especially the competition shooters, we have issues with.
Right.
Because they fail right when we don't want them to, right?
Correct.
So we usually find armorers such as Tony or Robert, our own team armorer. He goes ahead and machine parts for us.
Correct.
Like my PCC, I had problems with my
The ejector?
no the my trigger.
Okay.
So he made one out of titanium.
Now that's a craft.
Right. So I was using up firing pins. Excuse me. I was using firing pins up probably 1 or 2 matches, and then I had to change
They
them
were
out.
breaking or wearing
Yeah.
to the
So
point.
he goes, so he went in there, looked at it, he goes, "Well, I see your problems," and so he went ahead and machined a titanium pin for me, and it lasted me the whole season.
Right.
So that's the difference between that stuff. But they also have a striker fire, which is the XF
The XF Pro.
Pro. Okay.
And now this is the second generation.
So this is their second
This is their
attempt
second
to do
run.
this, right?
So what they did was, to get into the market,
Okay.
they created this same gun
Yes.
with a standard Glock rounded face trigger.
Okay. So it has a trigger safety.
Right. It has the trigger safety. And this is not a dingus. For some reason, I'm finding many people on YouTube calling the trigger safety a dingus. Look the word up. Yes, a dingus is a dim-witted person, or an idiot, or someone who's being silly.
We usually refer to as a body part.
Oh, okay. No, I'm actually using the Webster's Dictionary.
Okay, let's just stick with that one.
Yeah, let's stick with that one. So, the first run of this gun, of course, the slide wasn't lightened. As you can see, it's got machine ports. They lightened the slide. It had a standard round trigger. It didn't come with multiple grip panels. It didn't come with the optics plates.
The first edition.
The first edition,
Okay.
and it was only $350 for the gun with 2 magazines and the case.
So with a
and
couple
the very nice hard case comes with it. So what happened was people looked at this as if this was like the tourist version of a revolver. So they saw the price and said, "Oh no, I'm going to stay away from that." Meanwhile, Fusion Firearms is doing that
Right.
as a market entry.
Okay.
Just think about the stock market. When you're in the stock market and you have an IPO goes open, and it comes out low. Why? They want people to buy it. Then a year later, you can't touch it because it's too expensive. Well, the price of this, from what I understand, is now going to be going up anywhere from the next month or so, because people using this. Now, I'm not a gun reviewer. I'm not going to stand at the range and shoot at a paper target and tell you about it. If you want to see a really, really good gun review of the XF Pro, which is a mix between the ergonomics of a CZ Shadow, the striker system of the Walther or the Canic, and 4 aspects of the gun are Glock: the barrel, the recoil spring, the trigger, and the magazine. If you want to see someone shooting the gun and evaluating all the different Glock magazines and the use of ammunition from 55 grain lightweight 9mm ammunition all the way to 165 grain heavyweight subsonic ammunition, please go to GB Guns channel and give him all the love or whatever. But he does the whole breakdown on the gun. I'm not going to do that. I went out to the range. I've burned 500 rounds through this gun. I'm going to tell you that this gun does not like commercial reloads. It chewed up every factory ammunition. I mean, ate it whole. I was steel plates, maneuvering from steel plate rack to steel plate rack to shooting IDPA targets. This thing ran flawlessly. And with just a little bit of weapon shield on it, which is an oil that I like to use. Or you can use Slip 2000, which is another very good gun oil. This gun is much heavier. Now, if you slap on a TLR7 on this, which will add even more weight to it, which will still be in the weight range for CCP, carry optic, SSP, if you take the optic back off, put the regular plate on it. Yeah, that would be CCP, carry optic, and SSP.
Right.
For this firearm.
ESP.
And ESP.
Yep.
So, and it only has the rear funnel to it, and they did that for if you're going to carry this as an EDC, you don't have a flared mag well sticking out under your shirt. They've really upped their game.
Yeah.
So from the Gen 1, which was $350 to intro the gun into the market, now this one, the MSRP on this one is $550, which is still less than a Glock. You're getting, as a machinist standpoint, you're getting much more gun than you are with a Glock.
So you actually did a breakdown on this. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Okay, perfect. So here we have the 20 to 25 Fusion Firearms XF Pro. The XF Pro has been called the all-metal Glock. It is not a Glock. It does use 4 parts from the Glock 19 handgun. It takes down like a Glock, but it does not use the Glock takedown. So what you have is pull back, push in, pull forward, pull the trigger. Whoop. Okay. Helps if I pull the trigger. So on this firearm, it uses a Gen 4 Glock recoil spring, Gen 4 Glock barrel. It uses the same striker fire system as either the Canic or the Walther. It does not use the same disconnector. On this is all metal front to back. The only thing that's not metal is the interior part of the magazine release and the grips. The trigger is metal. The trigger safety is metal. It's all aluminum. The rails on this firearm, unlike the Glock has a 3/4 of an inch rail here, a 3/4 of an inch rail here. The Fusion Firearms has approximately a 3.5 inch rail on the front, and it has a 1 inch rail on the back. It uses a Glock trigger and a disconnector, and that's it. Everything else is not from Glock, except the magazines. It uses Glock mags. This gun is a very, very, very flat shooting gun. And the reason is, I'll show you right here. Okay. With the magazine in. £2, 1.7 ounces. So you're looking at 33 ounces on the firearm. The firearm comes with, the Pro comes with, I'm sorry about that. The Pro comes with the extended magazine release, comes with the competition trigger, and it also comes where the slide has been lightened by the manufacturer, machined out the holes, and now you can use, if you want, a Glock Gen 4 barrel that has been ported. They will also be selling one in the near future. Heavy gun, very flat shooting. I put approximately about 500 rounds through it. Now, a lot of people, they're going to, oh, it's a Glock clone. It's not. The bottom has the ergonomics of the CZ Shadow. The striker system, again, like I said, is like the Walther and the Canic. And the only thing interchangeable is the trigger itself, the barrel, the recoil spring, and the magazines. So everyone says, well, it's a big gun, it's a heavy gun. Yes, so it's a flat shooting gun. So now the difference here is that's almost 1.4. And then what I did was I brought a Glock 19 to compare. And that's 1.2. Almost 1.3. So there is a size difference on the firearm. There's a lot more meat in your hand. The nice thing is what caught my eye with this firearm is that it comes with this nice box. It's non-locking. Open it up, and from the manufacturer, you get the 2 magazines. You get 2 optics plates, one RMR, one RMSC, comes with all the bolts, comes with the tool kit, and comes with a spare set of grip panels. And the MSRP on this is $550. You're getting more gun for the money, because a Glock, especially here in California, they're at $650, and you can get them on sale for $550. So you're getting more of a firearm than you bargained for. And this is what we saw at 2025 SHOT Show.
Okay, So where do I buy this?
Well, right now you can buy it in it's Second Amendment Arms.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, the 2A zone.
2A zone.
Okay, which there's one I believe in Upland, which is here in Orange.
You know them personally over there?
I know them personally in on Brockton Avenue in Riverside.
Okay, so I'm going to go over there. I'm going to drop your name.
Yes, and they'll speak to Josh. Say you can buy either one of these guns at the 2A zone on Brockton Avenue.
Which one do you like? You like striker fire or do you like the hammer?
I'm a 1911 guy.
You like the hammer?
Yes, but this is this is something new.
Right.
Because all of my striker fired guns are polymer.
Okay.
This is the weight on this. This is such a flat shooting gun.
Yeah.
And when you use any type of subsonic ammunition, where if you're shooting carry optics or 125 power factor, that's subsonic. You're not going over 900 feet per second, or maybe if you are, it's 9.25, 950, but you're not breaking the sound barrier with this. You're not going 1,200 feet per second with reloaded 125 to 130 power factor homemade ammunition. Again, if you've seen any of my past podcasts, I use Fiocchi 158 grain subsonic, which is 850 feet per second out of a 4-inch barrel. This is about a 3.5-inch barrel. This was such a pleasure to shoot. I don't like how smooth the grip panels are.
You have any plans to make them a little bit more aggressive, or?
Well, apparently the company is.
Okay.
So I'm just going to wait it out.
Okay.
For now.
But you like this?
Yes.
Okay.
I like this a lot. The grip panels, they could be a little bit more aggressive. You do not get Glock knuckle. This is machined out under here. This is all rounded out nice. You don't get Glock knuckle from it. The Gen 2 has the all aluminum flat face trigger. The whole system has been polished out. If you take the slide off, like I showed in the video, you'll see that it's all nicely polished in there. Gen 2 has been cut to
What's the trigger pull on that?
It's 4 pounds consistently.
Okay.
Consistently 4 pounds.
You ever consider going a little lighter?
Yes, I would, but I'm going to wait till I get more information about this. And also on this model, they fluted the barrel to take weight off of it. Okay. Where the Gen 1 has a standard Glock barrel.
Okay.
So, and
this one as well is fluted?
No, this one's not fluted.
It's just,
but the company is now selling, and basically they're selling out of it as soon as they get it. You call them up and they'll send you the ported barrel for this.
Okay.
Where the machine,
right.
where the slide has been machined. So you'll have the ports coming straight. I mean, not straight out, but at 7 o'clock and between 2 and 3 o'clock.
So reliability. Any problems with this gun since you've been shooting? Well, it's only been 500 rounds.
500 rounds through each.
Right. So a couple matches.
No, that's just...
Oh, you haven't shot a match with it yet?
No, this has gone to the range and literally torture tested it with 500 rounds. Just load, shoot, 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 load, shoot, shoot, shoot.
So you're just doing build drills all day long?
Basically, yeah. So I have a lot of my Glock magazines from April of 2019, and I was just 15-round magazines, just burning through it.
No issues.
No issues.
Wow.
Except for a commercially made reload. It had 3 failures to extract.
Okay. So
that ammunition either did not get roll sized properly or whatever. Now, the only thing as a gunsmith, what I did do to the gun, and which I do to all my guns, and this one, I did it to this one as well. I used a 400 grit and an 800 grit chamber hone
Okay, so you
I
actually
hone it out and polish the chamber on any new gun that I get.
for just a deburr or what?
Deburr, clean it up.
Okay.
If there's any type of residual anodizing or any type, whatever they use to make this barrel black.
Okay.
Every manufacturer's different.
For non-corrosion
Right.
purposes. Okay.
For non-corrosion purposes and whatnot.
Do you recommend that to new gun owners going through that extra process?
If they have a gunsmith do it.
Okay.
Because if you sit there and you're polishing too much,
Yeah.
you'll blow out the chamber. You'll make it.
Paperweight.
Because you're only supposed to make a couple of passes.
Right.
You're supposed to. What I do is I dip the barrel in honing oil.
Okay.
And then dip the hone in honing oil, and then once I use that hone, after when I'm done with it, it's garbage.
Oh, okay. I see.
So
it loses its spec.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It loses its size, its spec, and then I take it and I throw that out and I order new. They're not that expensive, but if you're not experienced in doing it, if you like, I've seen people throw a cylinder hone on a cordless drill and they're holding the barrel in their hand, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Why don't you just put a little bit more cant on the inside of that barrel?
Right.
Because you're using cylinder hones are diamond carbide. And it's like a little pebble of each diamond carbide putty is put on a cylinder hone. If you turn around and do too much, you're going to ruin the cylinder of the firearm. So don't take it upon yourself. Okay, I mean, at the shop, I have a jig that I use where I take the barrel out, drop it in, and it's got a level on each side.
Right.
You know, I buy the levels really cheap from Amazon. Yep. I machine it into the block, and I know it's perfect, and I just come down with the cylinder hone. But I don't go past the chamber. So if you were to take your barrel out and you look down the barrel, you're going to see a little line right there. That's where the top of the shell casing hits. So your bullet is seated past that in the lands and grooves, and your brass case goes up to that chamber line. You don't want to go past that chamber line and now take and literally smooth that out.
Well, and they're precision equipment, so you don't want to be messing with stuff like that.
Right. You don't want to mess with the chamber of your
Absolutely.
gun, because you'll ruin pressures on your gun, and just don't take it upon yourself.
Oh yeah. So the advantages of using Glock mags versus the steel mags. What's the advantage of that?
Well, to me, to be honest with you, Glock mags are disposable to me.
Okay.
They're $20 each when you get them on sale.
Okay.
Like I said, GB Guns, when they did their review of this, they used everything from Chinese military, no-name brand Glock pattern mags, all the way to the new Magpul all-metal Glock mag.
Yeah.
Now, Magpul, they really did a nice job. You picture a metal magazine in your head, and there's a hole in the side of the magazine where the mag where it catches here. No, they went one better. They had it pressed and indented, so this way, if you're using a Glock or you're using a firearm that has a polymer mag release, so you don't rip apart the polymer magazines.
Right.
Magpul went and they made indents. There's no sharp edge for you to rip away the material on the side of a magazine. For example, Stealth Arms makes a 15-round magazine, all metal magazine, for the Glock 43X. That has a cut hole. You cannot use the Stealth Arms the 15-round magazine in the 43X with the polymer magazine release. You have to buy their all metal magazine release in order to use the gun, or you're just going to rip through Glock magazines, and you don't want to do that.
Right. So, but I prefer the weight, the extra weight. I I never had problems with mine. Though updating them costs a little bit because we have to buy a new spring.
Right.
Right. But I like the way that they hold up. So, well, actually, the Glock mags, I only had to change them once.
The only thing I ever do to my Glock mags is when I take them apart to put them in the sonic cleaner, I grab both ends of the springs and go, just give it a good, and then I throw everything in the sonic cleaner. So I got rid of all of my black followers from all the older magazines.
Yeah.
I ordered all orange.
That's a good idea.
I like because I can see it better.
Yeah.
I could see that the gun is empty.
Yes.
So I got rid of
a great idea.
all of that. I ordered all new orange followers. I literally have two ammo cans filled with Glock magazines from throughout the years. When I was in New York City, I had a Gen 1. I still have it. I still own it. A Gen 1 Glock 17. I still have all the magazines for that. I can still use them in here. Any Glock pattern magazine can be used in this gun and in this gun. So if you have a 50-round drum and you just want to burn ammunition, this will work. These two guns will work. The Platypus will work, and the new Staccato HD, HD something number 4. I forget what it is, but they are desperately trying to get California to put their new Staccato on the roster.
So the what gets you to buy a gun, a new gun? Price, or is it?
No, this was really something new.
Okay.
An all metal striker fired gun that I didn't have to go out and buy an aftermarket. Like for my SIG 365,
yeah,
the all metal lower, I had to go out and spend a couple of $100.
Rabbit hole,
right?
Yeah.
They're like a boat. Boat means bust out another 1,000. Well, this came with it. I mean, this came with everything. It came with the plates. Now, that is another complaint I have. The steel optics plates are very thick. So as you can see, I don't know, but you cannot co-witness with the optic. This is a Glock rear sight. This is a Novak front sight. So you're not going to be able to go out and buy a set for this gun like from what's some of the big major iron sights?
The iron sights?
Yeah.
What? Just the competition sites?
Well,
Dawson.
Yeah. So
right?
you won't be able to call them up in Dawson Precision sights and stuff like that and say, I need new sights for the Fusion, because the front sight's using a Novak sight from a 1911 and the rear sight is from a Glock 19.
Okay.
So, well, they for legal purposes they had to do that.
Okay.
If you copy a Glock piece by piece,
I see.
You're now in patent infringement.
Yeah, but then you turn into a Frankenstein type of thing, right? So, which is internals are that the same way, or?
Yes, you cannot. You can drop a Glock trigger in it, but you can't drop the rear disconnector and stuff in it. It doesn't work. It's not the same.
Okay, but if a part breaks or something like that, you could always just call the manufacturer.
You call Fusion. They have all the parts for it and stuff like that.
All right.
Because I like to order all the new screws, because everyone seems to be going to Torx screws. I hate Torx screws. Too much pressure one way, or if you use blue Loctite and you don't warm up the gun or bring the gun a little bit above room temperature, you'll just strip out these Torx screws here and here. But this is really nice. I'm sorry about what you saw when I broke the gun down, but this is much faster to disassemble this gun than it is a Glock. They actually added the buttons instead of trying to get your fingernails into those grooves.
So you usually, are you going to actually use this, or are you
Yes.
just collecting these things?
No, I'm actually going to use this. This one here, it has to be returned to the owner because all the work has been done on this gun. This one is mine. I had a lot of fun shooting this. I was very surprised shooting it. I finally found a green dot that is an 8 MOA. So much faster for me to pick up with my old eyes.
So this is actually a CCP size gun, you think?
This one is. Okay. This is the same. This is the exact same size as a Glock 19. This will fit in the CCP box.
Okay, this one right here.
No. That's this is SSP the way it comes, even with the magwell, because this is how it comes from the manufacturer. Okay. Nothing has been added for this model gun. So when you go on the website, you cannot order it without the magwell, without the plates, without the larger slide release, without the larger.
Right.
This gun was meant to race. This gun is meant to race. And what I forgot to mention, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this comes standard with a gas pedal for right-handed users. So if you see, it comes molded into the frame.
Right.
So you don't have to buy something extra. If you're right-handed, it's great. If you're left-handed, what they did is that they, on this side of the gun, they textured where a lefty would put his thumb. But for a righty, they actually put a gas pedal on this gun.
Very cool. Very
so cool. That's another thing for the, I forgot to mention, but that for the Pro,
yeah,
the Gen 1 doesn't have a gas pedal, doesn't have the cuts to remove weight, doesn't have the fluted barrel, doesn't have the flat face competition trigger.
Very cool. Any tips for new shooters purchasing a gun?
I tell people when it comes to firearms and it comes to like same thing with RVs, buy your last gun first. Me, I'm a gunsmith. I collect guns. It's different. If you're gonna buy a gun, I would go to a range that actually lets you rent guns to try them out and see what you like. It really is. Like the first time, again, Scott is a master bug shooter with his gun, who is now using 10-round magazines in his bug gun because it's an optic.
Right. Does he have to change his power factor?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because it's no longer
95 power factor.
So he's shooting 125 out of that thing now, right?
Out of the but the gun is heavier because he's adding more ammunition.
Yeah.
But he's not changing the gun. So his grip is still the same. His presentation is still the same.
But shooting a 125 out of a bug gun is not fun.
No, it's not. It's very snappy. Yeah. The first time he was out there as carry optic with his gun, he did horrible. But it was new.
Yeah.
And the first time I went out with an optic, horrible.
Well, stay tuned for what they call it, a ERMO or
either ERMO or ERMO
at your local range. You're going to see a lot gaining popularity in this. I'm a huge fan of them already. I actually like the hammer, the 1911 style. That actually is quite nice. But CCP is very, very favorable. So
yes,
but. Take a look at it if you have some time. If somebody's shooting one, see if they'll allow you to throw a couple rounds down range. Hopefully you'll.
I'll let anyone. If you're at Prado, you want to use the gun, be my guest.
I think we should do that. So join us. Come on out and shoot with us. Then we can actually take a look at these brand new guns. But a special shout out to our channel membership. This is your support. Busy at work. Please consider being a part of our shooting community, building relationships around safe gun practice and IDPA competition. My name is Paul G, and this is
Tony Cuomo.
Please be safe, and we shall see you on the range.
like, share, subscribe.
I got to take you out to lunch. You like dim sum?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.